Hello there and welcome back to Gemma Movie Recap. Today I'm going to recap The Last Days of American Crime, is a 2020 American action thriller film. The U.S. government announces that American Peace Initiative, API, a neural blocker signal that once activated will affect people's brains, preventing people from committing acts they know to be illegal. Two men and a woman plan the heist of a lifetime before the government broadcasts a mind-altering signal that will wipe out criminal behavior forever. But before we dive into the recap, we kindly ask you to show your support for our channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell for future updates. Now, let's get started. But before we start, please support our channel by subscribing and click the bell icon for future notifications. Now, let's start. Graham Brick engages in the torment of an individual searching for the money he is owed. The man reveals that the Dumois family will persistently pursue Graham. He discloses that his associate, Johnny D., divulged information about him. Graham departs, leaving the man doused in gasoline with a lit cigar in his mouth. As Graham distances himself from the building, the apartment suddenly explodes. The world is plagued by criminal activities, prompting the U.S. government to introduce the American Peace Initiative, API. This initiative involves the deployment of a neural blocker that, when activated, affects people's brain functions, inhibiting them from engaging in actions they recognize as unlawful. Many people endeavor to escape to Canada, but tragically, numerous lives are lost in their pursuit. A year ago, Brick and his team were renowned as the most skilled bank robbers. As long as they shared their earnings with the Dumois crime family, they enjoyed freedom in their actions. Brick's brother, Rory, was preparing to enter prison, and Brick urged him to survive. After 6 months, the government conducted a trial of their API device. In the midst of a bank heist, Brick and his crew unexpectedly found themselves immobilized. They managed to escape with the money they had gathered, but tragically, one of their crew members lost their life. Lonnie, a henchman of the Dumois family, approached Brick to demand his share of the money. Brick deceived him, claiming that he no longer possessed it, secretly preserving it for their escape to Canada. Brick received a devastating letter informing him of Rory's suicide while in prison. With Johnny D's betrayal and the Dumois family seizing his money, Brick found himself with no options left. He located Johnny D and carried out his execution. Brick encounters Shelby Dupree at a bar, and their encounter escalates into a sexual encounter in the restroom. At this moment, Kevin Cash arrives in search of Brick. Kevin had been incarcerated alongside Rory and witnessed Rory's murder at the hands of the API signal and prison guards, contrary to the suicide story relayed to Brick. Kevin expresses his desire for revenge by orchestrating a heist to steal $1 billion from the government. The government has initiated a program to repurchase stolen funds from criminals since the activation of the API renders the money worthless, consolidating it in one location. To Brick's surprise, Shelby reveals herself as Kevin's fiancée. Together, they unveil a plan to temporarily disrupt an API tower, allowing them to execute the heist and reach Canada before the signal takes complete control. Brick, albeit suspicious of their intentions, eventually agrees to join their endeavor. Simultaneously, Officer William Sawyer becomes a hostage in the police station, held at gunpoint by two individuals searching for drugs. In a display of resilience, Sawyer manages to overpower one of the captors, shooting them, and is subsequently sent home from duty. Brick assumes control of the mission and realizes that he requires certain items, including cone warheads capable of combating tanks. The only feasible source to acquire them, apart from the U.S. Army, is the Dumois family. Brick unveils his discovery that Kevin is, in fact, a member of the Dumois family. Demanding the truth, Kevin confesses that he yearns to break free from his family's influence and establish a lasting legacy by orchestrating the final crime in American history. During a visit to a nightclub, Brick discovers Shelby's exceptional hacking skills and learns from Kevin about the insurmountable nature of the API signal. Later on, Sawyer returns to the police station and implores to be reinstated for duty, persuading his supervisor to grant his request. As many police officers are transitioning to new positions, those who remain will be equipped with an implant that shields them from the effects of the API, enabling them to use force against citizens. Sawyer expresses his desire to apply for the implant and is eventually granted one. Shelby and Brick sleep together again. The next day, Brick meets with Ross, his former friend and driver, to enlist him for the billion-dollar heist. Subsequently, Brick visits a government official named Jack Morgan to arrange the exchange of money. Meanwhile, Shelby contributes by aiding in the creation of counterfeit currency to be used as a substitution for the genuine money. She then meets with FBI agents, revealing her role as an informant for them. Shelby's cooperation is driven by the fact that her younger sister is held captive by the FBI. In exchange for providing information about the heist, the agents promise to safely transport Shelby's sister to Canada. They make it clear that failure to cooperate will result in harm befalling her sibling. Unbeknownst to Shelby, Brick has been surveilling her and witnesses the entire interaction between her and the FBI agents. Kevin drives Brick to the Dumois compound, where they undergo a thorough search before gaining entry to an extravagant party. Kevin and his sister guide Brick to Rossi Dumois, Kevin's father. Rossi had believed Kevin to be deceased, as he had attempted to have him killed following Kevin's affair with Rossi's second wife, whom Rossi subsequently murdered. In a shocking turn of events, Rossi pulls out a gun and shoots Kevin, prompting Kevin to retaliate by hurling a weapon into Rossi's head, seemingly ending his life. Despite his injuries, Kevin directs Brick to a hidden cache of weapons, and they fight their way out of the office. They successfully retrieve the cone warheads and make their escape. During their exit, Kevin's sister opens fire on him, leading to Kevin killing her in self-defense. Lonnie discovers Rossi's lifeless body, inciting intense anger within him. Brick confronts Shelby regarding her collaboration with the FBI, resulting in a tense standoff where Brick brandishes a gun. However, before any further action can be taken, Lonnie intervenes and subdues Brick, rendering him unconscious. Lonnie proceeds to restrain Brick and subjects him to a brutal beating, intent on extracting information about Kevin's whereabouts. Shelby intervenes by revealing that she is Kevin's fiancée and offers herself as a means to reach Kevin. Lonnie then brings in the man whom Brick had tortured previously, the same man who survived the earlier explosion, albeit disfigured. The man commences torturing Brick, and to further escalate the situation, a fire is set, leaving Brick to face a potentially fatal outcome as Shelby watches in horror. Lonnie and Shelby depart, leaving Brick behind. Fortunately, Ross arrives just in time, narrowly rescuing Brick before the entire camper explodes. Ross drives Brick to follow Lonnie, who has Shelby hostage in the back seat, and they engage in a long shootout and chase. Eventually, Brick's car gets flipped, and he climbs out and steals another one. Lonnie ties up Shelby and injects her with heroin. He then begins tearing her clothes off to rape her, but Brick arrives and strangles Lonnie from behind, killing him. He then carries Shelby out. Later, he asks Shelby about the FBI. She tells him they're after Kevin and that her sister will be hurt if she doesn't comply, and they share a kiss. Kevin arrives, and the crew goes over the plan. Shelby and Ross steal a military truck which Ross skillfully drives into the military compound. Meanwhile, Shelby proceeds to rendezvous with Carl, a man she had previously flirted with, who holds the responsibility of initiating the API signal. Upon reaching Carl's office, Shelby subdues him, taking control of the situation. Simultaneously, Brick delivers the money for the government exchange and retrieves the genuine currency. However, their escape takes an unexpected turn when Morgan sets fire to a bill and realizes it's counterfeit, triggering a chaotic shootout. Despite the turmoil, Brick and Kevin navigate their way to the vault. At the same time, Shelby hacks into the computer system precisely when the API is about to launch, halting Kevin and Brick's progress in attempting to blow open the vault. Shelby successfully disrupts the signal, enabling Kevin to complete the detonator setup. Eventually, Ross reunites with the group, and they swiftly load the truck with the spoils before making a daring escape. Sawyer shows up and catches Shelby, and demands to know what is going on. The government manages to get the signal running again, halting Ross and Brick, but not Kevin, who shoots and murders Ross as Brick screams in horror. Kevin tells Brick how in prison, the guards would test the API by forcing him and Rory fight and then turning the API on. They made them do it over and over, and eventually Kevin learned how to overcome the API. When he broke through the API, he killed Rory himself, which got him out of jail. He explains that now he doesn't feel anything anymore and shoots Brick in the stomach, then again in the side of his head, blowing his ear off. He tells Brick he's a superhero, and Brick asks if he's bulletproof. The FBI agents appear and shoot Kevin over and over until he dies. Brick is confronted by the two agents who confess their intention to eliminate Shelby as a means to conclude the case. They had deceived her regarding her safety, and while leaving Brick to suffer and succumb to his injuries, he decides to consume a lethal pill he had previously acquired. Unexpectedly, the pill terminates the effects of the API and empowers Brick to shoot and eliminate the two agents. Seizing the opportunity, he collects the money and departs in the truck. Meanwhile, Shelby endeavors to escape from Sawyer, resulting in a physical altercation between the two. Despite the API's influence affecting Shelby, she refuses to yield and continues to retaliate. Frustrated and infuriated, Sawyer resorts to strangling her, but she manages to roll him onto a table with a shard of glass that pierces his neck. Prior to departing, Shelby triggers an explosion, demolishing the facility's server. In the truck, Brick and Shelby share a passionate kiss while maneuvering through the initial barricade near the Canadian border. Despite facing gunfire from troops, they persist and push through. The following morning, as Brick's life hangs in the balance, Shelby confesses her love for him moments before he passes away. Taking a bag filled with money, she departs the scene just before the arrival of the police. At a later time, Shelby joins her sister to scatter Rory's ashes into a lake. They then embark on a journey, driving away and embracing a life of freedom in Canada. The end. Thanks for tuning in to this movie recap. I hope you found it enjoyable and insightful, and that it helped you gain a better understanding of the story. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss out on our latest movie recaps and other exciting content. Your support is crucial in helping us keep creating high-quality videos like this one. Once again, thank you for watching, and we can't wait to see you at our next one.